bio. Alright, I'm gonna read. You ready to do this, Dan?
I'm ready.
Cool. Alright. We're gonna have fun, so.
Yes, we are.
Did I clear the room with the bird shit? What the fuck? Alright. Before I slip out of bed and slog to the bathroom, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is think, damn it, I woke up. Then fall back asleep for about 10 minutes to give it another shot. 10 minutes later, I roll over and think, fuck it, I'm meant to be alive. Then the slipping, the slogging, the brushing, the shit, the shower, the shave. But before all that, before I even say words, before I scratch myself and roll out of bed, I stare at the glowing red numbers on the clock radio and wonder where all the time has gone. 8 hours of sleep every night for 29 years. I'm only 2/3 alive. Not to mention all the naps I get done on the weekend. I dial up the suicide prevention hotline, get a busy signal, and wonder if that's a sign of the times. The hair twirling kid I work with is already texting me some bullshit about a band or something. It's 7:30 in the morning. I love Cockatoo Twins just as much as anybody, but come on, man, can't it wait? I clicked the link with a yawn and listened to the song and stumbled to the bathroom. Took a long time to end up me, utterly cynical and ready to die, and Mr. Twirly Hair just doesn't fucking get it. Sure, we may have a lot in common, but he has no idea just how fucked I truly am. And maybe I'm just as clueless. Before the toothbrush scrapes across my teeth, before the shit, the shower, the shave, I stare into the mirror and think about how I'd like to go back to bed and give the whole not waking up thing another try. Then about how my little situation can be solved with a gun rack. Because if I had a gun rack right above my bed, I'd have to someday get a gun to fit it. Might wake up one day and not be so afraid to use it if I had one. And say, if I had a blender, I'd make a margarita. Because what the fuck else do you do with a blender? You can't shoot yourself through the face with that. The living and the dead are just alike in most respects. The dead speak to me through the mouths of the living, angry customers, each and every one of them. Because an iris or a lily didn't open in time for a funeral, because the shade of coral was the wrong shade of coral, because the dead can become unreasonable when they no longer can speak for themselves. I get called incompetent. I don't know how to do my job. And sometimes worse than that. They said I'll come down to where I work and shove red roses up my ass. The phone rings. Ring, ring. Hello? Hello? Mom, it's me. Click. The flowers make me sneeze, the sneeze clears me up, and I feel it like it's unpleasant, and then it kicks me with this incredible high voltage through these plaqued up veins. For a few seconds I can breathe, I feel good. For a few... I'm alive and finally thankful. Shit taking sometimes has the same effect. It's like throwing away the friends you thought you needed only for a spike on your stats chart. Then waking up and realizing they threw you away, not vice versa. I need to take the fucking trash out. Marigolds bloom from September to the first frost. Then they die and return to the soil where they wait for the next September sun. The guy in the corner who cuts the flowers is Hawaiian, speaks pidgin. One time he told me, just listen to the first word and the last word. Everything in between is meaningless. I've read so many books that have made me feel that way. Just meaningless. He's a bad book, but he's an alright guy. Doesn't mean he can't let you in, feel his presence, make him known. You don't have to read him, just look. He's got this scar on his arm near the crook, which was from the time he almost died back in Hawaii when he was in his mid-20s. Punched his arm through a car window and yanked it out. Left half a pound of meat on the asphalt, a few pints of blood at his feet. Said he saw the white light like a pinpoint in the dark, and he kept reaching, just reaching out, because he knew he was almost home. And that's the real struggle in life. This woman I work with will either die from cancer or a barbiturate overdose. That's the consensus. We're taking bets out back during our smoke break. I've got 10 on cancer, says one. 20 says it's pills, says another. She'll die in her sleep, I say. I'll put 20 on it. But I know she won't die in her sleep. I just say it because that's what I want. It'll probably be some kind of cancer. It's always some kind of cancer. Sun hails down on me like satanic proverbs from the mouth of Baphomet. I sweat into my eyes and say, but fuck! Masculinity is kissing bruised lips. Everyone is silent. The taller dude than me starts laughing. I say, masculinity is taking asking your mother for rent money, then blowing it on a few cases of Bud Ice and some weed and a box of condoms. Everyone starts laughing. I say, masculinity is jerking off to Monday Night Football. The laughter stops. What the fuck, man, says the short guy. The kid I work with twirls his hair like a met up banshee. We share a love of the same music and movies and art. Only problem here, he drives me crazy sometimes. Must be the age difference, makes things difficult. I'm almost 30 and he's just now 20 and going through his first breakup and how love feels. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up! I say this and other hurtful things, even though I know it's pain. I know what it feels like when nobody wants to listen, but I don't know why I'm like this. He reminds me so much of myself at his age, it makes me want to kill him. A lot of the older dudes here are gay but married to women. Some even have grown children. One time I saw a man parked in a lurch at the park with that look of the hunt in his eyes. I can't imagine what that's like. Ranging from 50 to 70 years old. Times are different, things change. Kind of, they do. Recently I noticed that one of them only hires hipsters in their early 20s and deliver flowers. Guess everything's a matter of taste. Though our motives are different, I commend him for his choice of hires. Sometimes I daydream about having conversations with these boys. Fuck the Smashing Pumpkins. Let's talk about Captain Jazz and Big Black. I think he likes them extra smelly too, like Dorito dust and 3 weeks worth of sweat collected in the cod of those tiny shorts. 10:30 a.m. I'm letting loose in the bathroom, thinking about the show I watched on A&E last night. Serial killer Dean Corll was the subject. I'm thinking about Dean inserting glass tubes into his victims' urethras and then smashing their dicks with hammers while expelling my bowels. Focusing on the floral print wallpaper, biting down on my lower lip, praying that come lunchtime, my rear driver's side tire is still holding its air. 15 minutes left on my break, I dial up the suicide prevention hotline. I get Becky on the other end. Becky tries to sell me on how my life is worth living, even if sometimes it feels like it's not. I ask her what she had for lunch. Ham and Swiss on rye, she says. Just like Bukowski's childhood. I say, thanks, but no. I say, I'd rather eat a short rope with a side of tears. She doesn't laugh like I do. She doesn't laugh at all. It's just so easy not to laugh sometimes. People taking things so seriously. A 60-plus grump with a humor problem comes waltzing over to give me some shit. I say, hey, how have you been? His face sags, old and ugly, and he says, terrible. Just fucking terrible. I say, what's wrong? He says, your face. That's what, your face. It's just all wrong. I grin. I say, well, your face, it's beautiful. Something to behold. He frowns and grunts and hobbles into the cooler to be addicted to flowers he'll soon lay over a grave in the countryside. Hair twirling kid comes up to me and says, I don't know. I just don't understand why she won't talk to me. I look him in the eyes and say, she doesn't want to talk to you. She doesn't want anything to do with you. You dumped her. Get over yourself. Move on. I mean every word of it too. Even though I immediately want to take it back, I want to say the world's a good place. People are kind. People are inherently good. There is nothing wrong with either one of you, just some bad chemistry. The world is full of possibilities. Stop selling yourself short all the time. Also, that music you listen to something happier, like Shoo Shoo. But I don't. I just stick with the first because there never seems to be enough time for the second. The feeling gets stronger every year from way back to the time I struck out in T-ball. I was 8 years old. Now and again there's a swirling above me and forming like clouds. And I go back to that swing, that miss, the humiliation. Both sad and glad my father never made it to a single game. The little Hawaiian guy missed work one time because he had a sty and didn't want people to notice his eye being watery. I don't want them to think I'm a little bitch, he said. All I could think was masculinity is missing work. Edward Levy killed himself 10 days after turning in his final manuscript. The manuscript was titled Suicide. Sometimes I think that's badass, and other times I think so sad. Sometimes I think I would like to do something similar. I'll title mine Birth, Rebirth, Afterbirth. I'll be late to work forever. The overweight black guy, maybe my favorite person in the world, who drives all the way to Dodge City and back every day, comes up to me while I'm packing 100 red roses delicately into a cardboard box, and he says, "What if I took this knife and slit my throat right in front of you, looking you in the eyes while the blood spurts out of me and onto your face?" I laugh and think, great idea, give me that matador confetti. But then all seriously, I look him in the eyes and say, well, to be honest, I'd be fucking devastated. He laughs, says, good answer. And then he proceeds to tell me what position he fucked his wife in last night, in what room, under what circumstances. The kids were in the backyard playing with firecrackers. I stared at the wall and imagined cute things dying so I wouldn't come too soon. Watched the show about Fatty Arbuckle last night. Today, while I'm talking to some dude on the phone about some precious wedding he needs flowers for, all I can think of is a champagne bottle and a butthole, his butthole, and all the aftermath with the blood in the public, how my life might have been better if I just stuck with my instincts and ate myself and drank myself and fucked myself to death. Let the blood from my veins out onto the bathroom floor when I was 8, because who the fuck strikes out in T-ball? When I'm hopeless, I feel alive. The pressure's great. We all have choices. Choices are dangerous. I hope I make the right one. When I get home and see my wife, things go warm and everything that came before recedes. We drive to Starbucks, we eat horrible food for dinner, we play with the dogs, we argue about mundane things. We watch Seinfeld, we go to bed, then she falls asleep, she snores. I sleep with a smile on my face, even knowing the hell to come from the ordinary the moment the alarms sound. I sleep and I dream. I never remember my dreams, but I know that I'm dreaming. Someone once told me the moment you stop dreaming is the moment you're no longer alive. Isn't that something?
Woo! It is.
What's the best way to die? Don't know. I think of the taller dude at work, how he said he used to ride miniature bulls back when he was 9 or 10. Rodeo for children, he loved it. Then one day, they wanted him to ride the big bull, not the mini. He wasn't about it. That was the end of his bull riding career. But he talked and talked about all the pussy he was getting from riding on the minis. At first I was like, oh yeah, well, good for you, man. But then I was like, wait a second, didn't you say you were 9 or 10? He looked nervous, but he laughed, and I laughed, and then we were both laughing so hard we were unable to stop. I was crying. Then our boss came out of his office, said, "What's so funny? What are you laughing about?" We looked at each other, looked back at our boss, and said, "Nothing, just this stupid thing, don't worry about it." But for the rest of the day, we did the eggshell walk, even while taking the trash out. At the dumpster, dumping the cans, I wonder what it'd be like to crawl inside one and take a nap. A few years back, a homeless man died that way. Fell asleep in a dumpster at the mall one cold winter night, got compacted in the trash truck. Trash was too loud to hear his screams. Life feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Like a scream that gets muffled by the crushing.